welcome all to the 10th lecture of our series Afro-Brazilian Arts and Activism. E damos aqui o nosso obrigada ao Center for Latin American Studies and the Department of Spanish and Portuguese at Ohio State University. This Friday, we will have with us Marcelo de Salete, and I will show you the remaining presentation this semester. Take a screenshot if you want. Se vocês puderem, tire uma foto de tela. You are all invited to join us whenever you can. And today, I have the honor to present our guests in the first panel of our series. Our panel is coordinated by Javier Escudero, Director of the Brazil Cultural in Bahia. He's a former associate professor of Spanish at Penn State and also former director of the Instituto Cervantes of Rio de Janeiro. Escudero has implemented an exchange learning methodology in study abroad programs that aims to deliver academic and service programs while impacting both educationally and financially local organizations, young professionals, undergrad and grad students, and entrepreneurs. So to talk about the impact of Afro-Bahian organizations on the local population, Escudero invited guests to talk about the educational and social work they have been carrying out. So we have Christian Nunes, a former intern at Tamar Project and an English instructor. We have Anatelson das Neves, a community leader at Quilombo do Tereré. And then we have 4 students at Federal University of Bahia. Correct me if I'm wrong. We have Alex Alberto from the Instituto Cultural Steve Biko, currently an undergrad IT student. Alex will be Anatelson translator. Then we have Vitória Lani Silva, also representing Instituto Cultural Steve Biko. She's currently a MA student in translation. We have Kayanara Lip, representing Espaço Cultural Pierre Berger, currently a student in gender and sexuality, and Ricardo Santos, director of the Quilombo Ilha, a math instructor and currently a MA student in math. They are all students at Federal University of Bahia. I hope I have not missed nobody here and that I have introduced you properly. If not, blame it on Javier. It is a pleasure to have all of you here. Sejam bem-vindos. It seems that Christian is going to be our MC.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christian. I will be the MC for this presentation. First of all, it's a really pleasure for us to be here. Our presentation will follow these steps. We're going to start first with Vitória Lani Silva, then Ricardo Santos, our beautiful lady, Kayanara, Anatelson Neves, and Alex Alberto. And then I will be the last one to talk also about our experience in this program. During the presentation, you can ask some questions on the chat. Me and Javier, we're going to be supporting you while the presentation. And by the end of each speaker, we're going to give you about 5 minutes to comment on it and also ask the questions you let on the chat. Okay, now I give the words to Vitória Lani.
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to talk to you all. Are you listening to me? I'm not sure if this audio is good. Yes, great. So I'm going to share my screen so I can show some pictures and my presentation. Just a minute. Is it okay? Can you see it?
It's still loading. Yeah.
Ainda não, mas deve estar entrando.
Okay.
Now we can see it.
Yeah, great. So I have a script because I'm trying to don't talk too much, and I know that today we have a lot of presenters, so I don't. But please, Christian, you can say if I'm talking too much, so I can be more quick. Great. So today I'm going to talk about Instituto Cultural Esteve Bico. That is an institution that I was a student in 2014. And since then, I have been part of this organization that I honestly believe and admire. I'm going to talk very briefly about the history of Bico, how we normally call the Institute Bico. Bico was created in 1992 by some Black students and teachers. They realized that there were very few Black students in the higher education institutions, and they wanted to change it. They knew the power of transformation that education has, and they believed that education was and is the key to change the reality of Black people in Brazil, in the world, of course. So they decided to create a preparatory course to the university admission exam, specifically for Afro-Brazilian students. It was the first preparatory course focused on Afro-Brazilian population. And from the outset, the institute was different because focusing students on the revival of ancestral values based on the Black consciousness movement expanded by Bantu Steve Biko in South Africa. The preparatory course was how it started, but Biko has been an important organization from the Brazilian Black and social movement for almost 30 years and has had several projects and programs. It has received many awards and is recognized internationally. All of our projects are linked to education, leadership training, and preparation for the job market. I have here some pictures of some of our projects, some of a field class, some of all kinds of classes that we have in our institute. All of these projects that we have something in common. First, they are focused on the Black population of Brazil, but also the cornerstone, the heart of the Institute's pedagogy is the subject we call citizenship and Black consciousness, which brings to the fore in the classroom environment issues of self-esteem and the struggle of Afro-Brazilian community against racism. In this class, the Institute emboldens students to revive African Brazilian culture, highlighting religiosity and ancestral heritage, as well as focus on the trajectory of activists in the fight against inequality. As I explained before, I was a student in 2014. And talking about myself, Biko was the place that I truly understood myself as a Black woman, the importance of talk about my history, how Black people contributed to the history of this country that deny us. In 2014, I was in the last year of high school at a public school. I wanted to study in the Federal University of Bahia, and I knew that unfortunately, I was not prepared to take the exam and get accepted in the university that I wanted. So Biko was more than I imagined. First, I thought that it was only a preparatory course like many others, but for free, because this is something important in my case because I didn't have the money to pay to do another preparatory course, so BIC was free. But the institute proved being more than that. They prepared me to take the exam, but they also prepared me to be a Black student in a Eurocentric university. They helped my formation as a Black woman, politically aware. And I'm pretty sure that I would not be the same person I am without BICO. It was also at BICO that I improved what today is my main tool. Sorry, something happened here. Okay, now it's better. It was also at BICO that I improved what today is my main tool of work, the English language. And after finish the preparatory course, I got in the university, I started to study language at UFBA, English and Portuguese, but I also start to study English at BICO with Professor Raquel de Souza. She's a translator. I think you know her because she was in the first picture about this event. And I had studied English before in another institution, but it was at BICO participating in the exchange activities, participating activities from Brazil Cultural as well activities from other programs and from BICO itself that I really learned how to speak, how to communicate in English. And it was through the exchange programs that I started to feel comfortable and confident speaking English. And speaking English in Brazil is a big deal. It opens many doors, but it is expensive and looks sometimes very distant for our lives as Black youth, as Black people in Brazil. Yet, I'm not the only one. Many students learn English through programs from Steve Biko. And the opportunity to share our experience about being Black and young, being ourselves in a country with people from different places is such a rich opportunity to learn not only about these people, about cultural diversity, but also about our own life. It is a chance to see our reality from a different perspective, and it's a chance to break stereotypes and many other things, not only about ourselves, but about the culture we have been exchanging, right? In my case, it was also an opportunity to network. It was participating in these activities that I started to work with Brazil Cultural and other organizations. I got to know professors from different universities, even from Ohio State University. And I had the opportunity to travel, represent BICO, and I had so many other experiences that made me grow professionally, academic, and as a person. Many students like me found a way to earn money. It's important, right? To earn money and work. Some of them found a profession. I have been working with Javier, Patricia, and Brazil Cultural since 2016, I think so, with great people. And through the years, more students from BICO and other organizations began to participate in the activities and eventually work together with us. So I can say that I have experienced the impact of international programs in the life of the students and also the impact of these programs on the organizations. The Steve Biko Cultural Institute has partnership not only with organizations that promote educational exchanges, but also has its own programs. BIC students have already become students at American universities through BIC, who have already gone abroad, represent BIC as me. I was in California at Victor University last year, represent BICO. They have participated in virtual exchange programs and many other things. The Institute is an NGO, so the exchange programs and international partnerships are also a way for several institutions to support the Institute. I know right now with the pandemic, things are more difficult, but I am very happy that BICO, Brasil Cultural, Quilombo Ilha are trying new ways to make it possible. So I think that for now is on this, but if you have questions, please let me know.
I don't know if you guys realize, thank you, Victoria, that we are coming full circle. So Victoria has been the student of Raquel Luciana de Souza, who has been working with us. We are very lucky to have. So you absolutely have to show up in other events to para visitar sua ex-professora, Vitória.
Please, please. Let me stop to share.
And another thing, I noticed in the picture that we have our vice provost from the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. So
yes.
he's in one, you know, he visited you and he's in one of the pictures. Dr. James Moore, yeah, he's really very invested in Steve Biko anyhow.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, I've met him many times. I think more than 4 years. Every year I'm participating in the activities.
Correct, yeah.
Guys, just as time management, we are going to let the question to the end of all presentations. So in case you have some questions, just type the name of the presenter and then your question, and we're gonna direct the question to each speaker, okay? Now I invite Ricardo Santos from Instituto Quilombo Ilha to present.
Thank you, Christian. Good afternoon, everybody. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about Quilombo Ilha. I'm going to share my screen. Please let me know if it's appear for you.
Now we can see Ricardo.
Okay, and thank you, Victoria, for talk about Steve Biko, because Quilombo Ilha born inspired by Steve Biko. Só que in Taparica Island, the Quilombo Ilha Institute was created in 2006. And I'm going to talk a little bit about our mission. And the Quilombo Ilha works to promote public politics in education sector aimed to help Afro-descendants that are living in Taparica Island to enter university. The institutes provide conditions for the students to be approved in entrance exams. Besides that, Quilombo Ilha seeks, through education, to provide social ascension of the community, thus contribute to reduce social inequality. And we have our goals. That is, to prepare low-income students from public schools to enter higher education, to raise the self-esteem of all students, especially Black students, to offer the teaching of Africa and diaspora history, to promote the critical sense of all students, and to foster projects for valorization of ethnic groups. And I'm going to talk a little bit about our actions here in Taparica Island. And every year we have that we call Solidarity Class. It's a class open for all community members in Taparica Island. Then the people that are here watching our class give us a kilogram of food. Then after the class, we share that for charities. We have too the cultural exchange is our partner Javier and Patricia. We can talk, we can share our knowledge and learn much about African, about English experience, and generally, and Javier and Patricia have a house in Gamboa, and we have more time talking about your experience, how Quilombo Ilha supports us, and we have two Quilombo Ilhas forró is like a square dance, and okay, and here in the right picture we have your vice president, which is the mayor of the city, and You guys can see this big smile because the mail gives us a space to build our own building. Because nowadays we are working in a church space. We don't have our building. And we have to solidarity actions. This is beginning of the crisis pandemic because the coronavirus. Then we help ex-students, actually students too, that is more affected by the coronavirus. We have to field class around the Taparica Island. We talk about biodiversity, and in this picture is me, like a student in 2014. We have the class to around Salvador, here in Pelourinho. We talk about the African influence in Salvador, about our story. Here we have our directors, is the president Eremita Costa, that's why the people was present in foundation of the institute, our vice president Renato dos Santos, and that was a Steve Biko student. We have our educational coordinator Tânia Cristina, and in this picture we have all the directors, and it's me and Tânia, Mari, Elien, all were Quilombo Ilha students, and now are in be a part of the directors. And in this part, I'm going to talk how Quilombo Ilha changed my life. It's not just about my life. It's about a life of every student that was present in this amazing institute. Because in 2014, I arrived that in Quilombo Ilha just like a student. I just want to be accepted at university. And then give me more than that, because I get approved in 3 public universities, UFBA, IFBA, and UNEB. And I start at UFBA in the year of 2015. I studied mathematics. And I know that I need to contribute with this institute. In the next year, I come back for the institute to help the students of the institute. I usually have a group study to have some exercise, some activities. In 2017, I become the math teacher officially of the students. In 2018, I was invited to be a director of the institute, and it changed my life so much. And actually, I was studying at Salvador, and I have a part-time job, and I worked in a private school. But I realized that I need to contribute the people like me that was studying in a public school too, and was I get approved in the concourse of the Bahia state. And nowadays I work 4 years for a week in a public school here in Taparica Island, in Quilombo Ilha too. It's through Quilombo Ilha, I could know about Brasil Cultural, about how it's good to me, because Javier knows I know a little. I knew a little bit of English, but just to read math books. When I throw about talking English, my stomach just gets butterflies inside, and I can't. And it helped me so much. It helped another students with the experience. It's so amazing. Uh, it's that. And in this last picture is all partners. Is the Dispensário Santo Antônio is a where you have your class in the church space. We have the Instituto Cultural Steve Biko, is who inspired the Quilombo Ilha here in Taparican. We have to Brasil Cultural, with Javier and Patricia helping us with this amazing experience. And we have the Prefeitura de Veracruz. Thank you guys so much.
Muito obrigada, Ricardo. Just a reminder to our students, like Vânia Penha Lopes, we had a speaker that spoke about the cursinho, like that transition, like to get into universities. So already Victoria and Ricardo are referring to how they manage to go to the next stage, no?
And also the fact that the public universities are the best ones in the country, not the private ones like in the US.
Thank you, Ricardo, very much. Now I invite Kayonara to talk about the Institute. Let me just check here. Cultural Space Pierre Verger.
Hello. Thank you for your presentations. I was a BICO student too. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about other institution that I was part of, Pierre Verger Foundation. First of all, I'm going to talk a little bit about Pierre Verger. Pierre Verger was born in 1902. He was a French photographer, ethnologist, anthropologist, and a researcher. He lived the most of his time in Salvador, the capital of Bahia state. So between 1932, in 1946, he traveled the world and he started living exclusively of his photography. In 46, he disembarked in Bahia. He came to Bahia because he wrote a book about Jorge Amado. And Jorge Amado, he's a very famous writer here, and he was very interested to come to Bahia. And so in 1946, he came to Bahia and he fell in love with our culture, and especially in Candomblé culture. And so he found that he think that the source of Bahia culture was the Candomblé. And he started to see similarities between Bahia and Africa, specifically Benin. So he started to become a collaborator and guest in various universities here. So in 1960, he bought a house in Salvador in the neighborhood called Villa America. So through all these years, he started to be very important in the Candomblé because of his interests and all that he brought to the Candomblé. And then he became a Babalao, who is a diviner of Ifa prophecies. And so after that, he could reach the heart of the Yoruba tradition. He was known as a messenger between the two worlds. So in 1988, he creates the foundation, who is a legally not a private non-profit institution, and is an independent institution. So the institution came with a mission of preserve, organize, research, disseminate, and work, disseminates his words. He established, he was also to serve a center of information in research. And in 95, after he died in 96, after that, he passed the foundation to a new director. So in 2005, the PRVG, they created a PRVG center, cultural center, to the people from the neighborhood of Vila America and the neighborhoods next to Vila America. And the center came with a mission to bring and to keep the culture of the city, and they start to create workshops. And today they have a lot of activities, and the activities are Ação Griot and Histórias Contadas, who is Vovó Cici, tell the history of the elders and to keep their memory alive. They have fine arts, choir. Oh, you can pass. Fine art, choir, capoeira Angola, clothes design, culture digital, African dance, digital education, sports, photography, kitchen, who teach the kids how to cook, and percussion, creative writing, theater, guitar, and chess. All these workshops are for all the ages, and the research is from the PRVG photographies. And so in 2003, Javier made the PRVG through research, and in 2005, he bring the first group to PRVG Foundation. And since then, they have more than 50 groups that he bring to collaborate. And some activities, they bring the local students from PRVG institution to share and exchange knowledge, culture, and all of that. And how I am a PRVG former student, I was a capoeira and dance student from PRVG Foundation. So since then, I met Javier and Patricia, and they invite me to participate of Brasil Cultural. So they do all more than some of the groups, and then just came in the foundation and take pictures and leave. They also have this exchange of students who participate and integrate the culture, and also the language, how to exchange the language. Yes. You can pass? Você pode passar? So this, a última. So these are some of the activities that they do in PRVG Foundation. Pode passar? And these are some of the groups that Brasil Cultural has brought to the institution. Thank you. This is awesome.
Congrats, Sayonara. And now, now I invite Ana Telson das Neves from Quilombo do Tereré, and also Alex, who will be supporting him in the translation. Let me just. Ana Telson and Alex.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear
you. Go ahead, Alex, introduce yourself while Ana Telson gets into listen.
All right, my name is Alex Alberto, 28 years old, also former student from Instituto Cultural Steve Biko. I studied in the project called Oguntech, which is the project that prepares the students to go to the university in the areas of science and technology, because they realized that the number of Black people in studying science and technology fields in the university were lower than going to the humanities studies. Now I'm working in Lauro de Freitas in a secretariat for affirmative actions and Black awareness and racial equality. I've been working with Brasil Cultural since 2009. I think so, collaborating with Javier and Patricia in the projects that they bring to the city. And also I love to be sharing and doing this exchange of knowledge and sharing experience with students, professors, universities, and institutions from United States, also from other places of the world.
Maybe he's having some problem in his audio suporte. Alex,
Está criando suspense. Anastasia, tudo bem aí?
Yes.
Alô, estou ouvindo bem. Boa tarde a todos e a todas. E aí, tudo bom?
Hello, how are you?
Então, falar um pouco, né? Meu nome é Anatelso Conceição das Neves, mais conhecido como Reitel do Berimbau.
My name is Anatelso Conceição das Neves, as known as Reitel do Berimbau.
Então, sou fundador, né, da Associação de Arte e Cultura Quilombo Tereré.
I'm the founder of the Art and Culture Association called Quilombo do Tereré.
Então, Quilombo do Tereré, a palavra em tupi-guarani significa fusão de ervas mates.
Pode continuar, Reitel, que aí eu vou, depois eu faço um bloco, entendeu?
Pronto. E a Associação Quilombo Tereré foi fundada no dia 10 de... Quer dizer, o trabalho informal desde 2010, né, na comunidade, como Capoeira Angola. E 2012 a gente teve a formalização, dia 10 do 5 de 2012, né, a documentação para se tornar, né, legalmente, né, CNPJ como associação. Então, aqui a gente o Tereré é um lugar de resistência, né, onde moravam os primeiros habitantes do Brasil, os Tupinambás e os Tupi-Guarani. E aqui é um lugar onde toda essa água nascente já tem mais de 500 anos, e o Tereré em si tem mais de 150 anos que a comunidade, né, Tereré, Maraujipinho e adjacente, né, Mar Grande, sempre se beneficiou e sempre teve essa fonte de renda. Essa água é uma fonte de renda, né, para a família. Sempre foi e hoje continua sendo, né, essa fonte de renda.
Ok, vou tentar fazer essa parte agora, certo?
Certo.
Pronto. As he told, my name is Anatelso Conceição das Neves, as known as Reitel do Berimbau. He's the president and the founder of the association Quilombo do Tereré. And just so you know, when I say Quilombo, these words I like to translate it as Maroons communities. I like to translate it to give a better idea what the meaning of the word Quilombo is. So the Quilombo, the Tereré word is a word from the Tupi-Guarani language, and it means a drink made with the infusion of the mate herbs. And the Quilombo do Tereré community is a place of resistance, and they have a source of mineral water that gives rise to the name of the community, and also gives the source serves the entire community of Tereré e Maragogi-Pinho. Pode ir, Rita.
Então, dia 6 de 2016, o estudo para a comunidade ser certificada por Fundação Palmares já vem um estudo desde 2007, né, na minha faculdade. E aí, para 2016, foi a certificação da comunidade Tereré e Maraujipinho como remanescente de quilombo. E,
okay.
E dia 9, né, de 2017, 9 de abril de 2017, foi o Museu da Memória Viva, né, do Tereré e Maragogi-Pinho, onde retrata nas suas fotos, né, e nas suas falas na parede, suas escritas, a construção dessa comunidade, onde ela foi os mentores, né, minha família e toda a comunidade, onde construiu essa comunidade em si, da agricultura, na cultura, na pesca, nos seus fazeres e saberes ancestrais e culturais. E com isso nós temos o primeiro museu quilombola da Bahia, que é o Museu do Quilombo Tereré e Maragogi-Pinho.
Okay. The association started its work in 2010, but it got formal in 2012, was formed exactly as a association, and they were fighting to achieve the certificate of Quilombo community. And in 2016, on March 6th of 2016, they achieved the certificate, and 1 year later, in April 9th of 2007, they opened the Museum of the Living History of the Quilombos do Tereré and Maragogi-Pinho, which is the first museum of the Quilombolas in Bahia. Also, they opened this with an exhibition of the project called Pele nos Muros, which would be translated like skins on the walls, a project that also has a partnership with the government of the states of Bahia. And also this is a very important achievement to portray and preserve the history of the community, of the knowledge, and also the practices. Então?
Sim. Aí no final a gente tem 2 alunos aqui que são desde criança, onde eles me acompanham com o Brasil Cultural, né, com Patrícia e Javier, essa parceria, né, grande. Daqui a pouco eles fazem um joguinho, se der tempo, 10 ou 20 segundos. Aí no final, se der um tempinho, ele faz um movimento aqui que Javier até pediu nessa finalizar. Então, e o Brasil Cultural, né, desde 2013, né, no final de 2012 para o início de 2013, a gente já faz esse trabalho com Patrícia e Javier, né, essa parceria e esse laço de amizade, né, com os estudantes dos Estados Unidos, né? Então a gente passa um pouco da nossa história e memória do museu, o roteiro, né, da Rede Batuque, que é o nosso roteiro de turismo de base comunitária, com seus fazeres e saberes, com azeite de dendê, de pilão, a visita à casa de farinha, o terreiro, as aulas teóricas de capoeira Angola da nossa escola de capoeira Quilombo Tereré, e nosso samba de roda, e nossa culinária também, né, que a gente cozinha o feijão do Quilombo, né, o feijão tradicional, e os artesanatos que nós produzimos, e essa troca, porque é uma forma de sustentabilidade, né? Essa parceria, ela traz uma economia local que ajuda, comprando geladinho de Maria, comprando bolo de Joana, comprando um artesanato do museu, que é das próprias mães das crianças que fazem, e além das vivências, né, de comprar um berimbau e as vivências e as amizades que se torna cada vez mais forte e mais puras e verdadeiras, essa troca de conhecimento também, que fortalece muito também a nossa comunidade local, e com isso a gente ganha muito com essa troca de conhecimentos e com essa parceria.
Okay, vou lá. Our partnership with Brasil Cultural started in the end of 2012 through Javier Escudero and Patrícia Escudero, has given the opportunity to present the history to the tourists through the classes also the classes of capoeira, the classes of maculelê. Also, when they go to the communities, they get to know the history about the community. Also, this partnership has helped directly and also indirectly to the to the local economy. When the tourists they go, they buy the beiju, they buy the cassava, the handicrafts, the palm oil. They help directly, sometimes indirectly, also help to maintain the sustainability of the quilombo. He said when by the end of the presentation, they'll try to do a 20 seconds, 30 seconds presentation. There are 2 students there who can do some capoeira moves. And also they have something called the Rede Batuque, which is, as they call it, it's a network to help to maintain the sustainability of the community, to raise funds to the community through the tourism. Also, he was talking to me before the presentation. This network is not working, that is not in progress now because of the COVID-19. And they are suffering a little bit to raise money and funds because most of the money they were raising were from this partnership with the tourists and also with the company that brings the students to the community. So that's a little bit of what he said. Então,
Oi?
Design?
Sim. Deu quanto tempo?
About 1 minute, can you do that? 1 a 2 minutinhos, se você conseguir nesse tempo.
1 a 2 minutinhos, pronto. Eu vou fazer um breve minuto e vou fazer um jogo da capoeira Angola para os meninos fazerem o movimento.
Ok.
Então, a grande satisfação, né, de participar dessa live e fortalecer cada vez mais os parceiros, amigos. E o objetivo nosso é esse, de trazer, educar através da capoeira Angola, do maculelê, do samba de roda e dessa troca também, né, desse turismo mesmo internacional e do estudantil, né, que Javier promove há 8 anos aqui. E com isso a comunidade, a Bahia, o Quilombo e o Brasil só tem a ganhar, porque a gente acaba aprendendo muito e essa troca de saberes e do conhecimento e a gente poder manter a nossa cultura viva. E com isso eu fico feliz, né, de estar aqui nessa existência e resistência, né, cuidando das nossas crianças, do nosso futuro e mantendo a cultura viva cada vez mais da capoeira e dos seus fazeres, saberes e sabores. E eu vou passar um pouquinho agora o movimento para os meninos fazer um joguinho aqui agora. Fã e Gil fazer um joguinho aqui da capoeira Angola, onde eles me acompanham em Cachoeira, na casa de Javier, mestre Javier, mais professora Patrícia, em Salvador, em todos os cantos, a gente está ministrando aula juntos, compartilhando nosso conhecimento.
Enquanto você vai fazendo aí, eu vou traduzindo o que você disse. I'll translate when they do the capoeira movie. It's a great pleasure for me to be part of this conversation, also because it strengthen the relationships with the partners, with the friends, and also disseminate our college, our knowledge. Also, as I love to do, to educate through capoeira, and it enriches the country and the state of Bahia, the country of Brazil, with these partnerships. When the students come, as we have here, who comes through educational and also international exchange. So for him, it's really great pleasure to be part of this. And as he says, he loves to exist and resist, showing and teaching and showing the knowledge, the practice, and the flavor of the culture.
Hey guys, I know that the capoeira is an amazing moment. Thank you, Anatelson. Thank you, Alex, for this beautiful moment. Now I am the last one, right? And let's go with it. Okay, so
Sim.
we over here, like you know, to talk about the impact of Afro-Brazilian Organization in Bahia and on local population. I will start by very briefly to talk a little bit, introduce myself. Can you see my screen, guys?
Yes, we can.
Great.
Yes.
So, my name is Christian. I am 26 years old. I graduated English language and literature at UNAB. It's the State University of Bahia, also a public one. As you can see, I've been always surrounded by children and always engaged in teaching. I've always wanted to become a teacher, but actually I didn't know if I would be a science teacher or an English teacher yet. And thanks God, I met an English teacher who really taught me that learning English it's possible. And then I start to change my points of view and decided to become an English teacher. I've always studied in public school. This is the Alo Coutinho, which is state public school here, high school. And also into my project, I've worked for about 8 to 9 years as a teacher for children, local children, teaching them some topics regarding to culture and environmental activities regarding to the forests and the places we have here. Well, I've also been part of the Brazil Cultural for about 5 years, and we have done a lot of activities here in Prado Forte. One of them is visiting the Castle Garcia Dávila, which is very important heritage for us. It's the first medieval building from Portugal people here in Brazil. It's all, of course, part of our history. And then what is it really important for us is like we go with the foreigners there, and also it's a moment for us to show our history and share this with these people. We also visit the Reserva Sapiranga, which is like a kind of a national park we have here. And we also talk with local people there. We visit the places, and in this activity, as you can see here, we are picking up trash as a way to as a source of protecting the nature, you know, like we also need to do our part. I've been also visiting with them and guiding people there at my project, which is also very important for us because a long time ago, before the 80s, when the Tama project got here, people used it to eat sea turtles and also to use the shells to make combs, jewelries and stuff like this. And with this program here in Prado Forte, they come up with the idea of you can still protect the animals and also earn some money, have some economic resort through this. So now on, you don't need to kill them. Now on, you have to protect them. And the Tama project until nowadays has been carrying out a lot of programs for local children. There we also have discussion with the groups about the place and other topics too. But what is the most important activities, I guess, we have done is going to the public schools and talking to the students. Here, for example, was a really amazing moment to us to share some knowledge about what we think, who we really are, and cultural aspects of our identity. And what is amazing is that no one felt different than no one in this kind of conversation. We're really together and discussing together about the topics, and we could see the similarities we have. For example, in this moment, as I remember, we are talking a little bit about Black identity, and also we read some poems and discussed it about topics. For example, I remember that I brought up a really, for me, important writer, Zora Houston, that wrote the book, How It Feels to Be Colored Me. And there's a really amazing quote of her that I use as a motto. It's like, I don't weep at the word. I'm too busy sharpening my oyster knife. And then we brought up some literature and especially Black writers. We comment on some writings they have, and it was a really amazing moment, especially also to the foreigners understand how education works here in Brazil, and also to realize that there are important teachers and people in Brazil that really care for the education of these children. Okay, just to introduce her, this is Andiara. She's the teacher that she's also an English teacher at a local team. She's my aunt, which I've been always been proud of her work because she really does a great work with the children there as a way of not just teaching English language per se, but using the language as a resource of communication. So why this project and programs like this is so important to the students? Well, the students have the opportunity to know about other cultures, to share their own culture and history. They can speak and be heard. They can study and practice in English in a way that's so comfortable to them. And why this is important? I mean, to teach anything in English, we have to have a good environment. If the students don't feel that, okay, there is a point in doing it, and I feel free to commit mistakes, I feel free to really learn that, they're not gonna learn. Probably they will keep in silence, probably they'll feel shy, probably they'll feel a lot afraid of communicating. And these moments like this, they were really engaged in trying to learn the language, try to speak. And I guess it's really important for us. And it's a really great moment of interaction in which students realize they're also capable of using the English language to communicate. I am an English teacher in a private institute. I try my best to bring topics like this to the English course, What I know is quite different when you have to study English much more as a general English course, and much different when you really have to use the language to communicate. An experience like this, I wish all my students could have, because it's really meaningful. So instead of saying the students like speak this or speak that in English, we are inviting them to use the language and to learn the language to speak what they really want to say. As regard to my experience, I think it's really important to me because before applying for the university, UNEB, I have always asked myself why I really want to become an English teacher. Was my goal to empower my own people or the other countries in which the English language is the main language, or just teaching English as a commercial language? Because most of the teachers sometimes when they come up, why is it important to learn English? Oh, because you're going to achieve your dreams, because you're going to travel abroad, because you're going to go to New York, because you're going to have a good job. Okay, this is important, but in this way, I'm kind of empowering the other cultures. I'm kind of showing the students like maybe the other culture is more valuable and more important than ours. And this program, and also before the program, have taught me that I can teach English for another matters. Just to mention a book which brought up me these questions was the the Open Veins of Latin America by, let me just check the name of the author, by Eduardo Galeano, which is a very important book, which showed me and brought me some concerns about how powerful the English language can be. So in fact, through this meeting, I've realized the reason why I really want to become an English teacher, which is providing my students with the necessary information through the language to comprehend what people say and being able to say what they really want to say. And having these meetings, especially these academic meetings and meeting professors and teachers, I've come up with starting to like and enjoy the idea to apply for a master's degree in a foreign country. Yeah, and that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Now, we're gonna open up, okay, so you can make, thank you, Isis. You can make your questions.
Such interesting questions that you are posing there.
Mm-hmm.
As we can know, as we all could notice, we all here, we are in a certain way connected with the same idea, like with using education and using the language as a resource for develop our people in our lives. So now I also invite Javier, which is a very important person to us, to talk a little bit about the topics we've mentioned.
Hello, Christian. Thank you a lot for being an excellent MC. Thank you to Victoria for representing Vico, and Alex for representing Vico and translating Reitel. Thank you to Ricardo Santos representing Quilombo Ilia, Kayanara representing the Pierre Berger Foundation, and Reitel, our big friend. All of them are great friends of us. I've been in Brazil since 1999. I came to Salvador, I met my wife, I got married, so it's been 21 years. I was an associate professor at the time. In 2000, by the way, I'm honored again to be back in Ohio State University. I went to Ohio State for a conference to read a paper on Rosa Montero that Samuel Amel organized in 2000. So it was a very nice opportunity to meet our competitors, because I was at Penn State, you know. So Ohio State University is just big competitor. But anyway, I've been in Brazil first with the Cervantes Institute. I've been involved with a study abroad since I'm 18. At 22, I have a dream of creating my own school. Then I became a professor. I did research. I did some study abroad, but not too much. But I always been connected. I have a large experience with groups in Spain, in Mexico. And when I came to Brazil in 2001 and 3, then I went back to the United States, and my life was not making any sense in the United States. So we decided to basically open Brazil Cultural in 2005. And since then, we just celebrate 15 years together. But my experience in Brazil Cultural has been basically to work and learn from universities who want customized programs in Brazil. And through this experience, I have learned a lot from my partners, especially a lot of African-American professors who wanted to do customized programs with a service impact. And for many years I was here, and I could see how the organizations, other organizations organize a study abroad, and I said, no, this is not where I really want. I want to come to Brazil to make a change, to make a difference. And basically this is with the help of first Pierre Verger Foundation. Then luckily I was, because Pierre Verger has been fundamental for me, not only because I have done research on Pierre Verger. I have a book hopefully coming up soon on the Pierre Verger photographs in the United States in 1934, 1937. But then with Instituto Vico, basically I realized first that the women were not represented in 2011, 2012. Then that once they passed Vico, the students were kind of isolated at the university. So I started inviting them, integrating them, open spaces, open restaurants to them, open trips to them, giving them the opportunity to participate, to assist us. And as we go, those students were sometimes invited to credit courses organized by University of Florida or University of Florida. They were invited to start taking a larger role or preparing some activities. So these students that you just met, Kayanara 5-6 years ago didn't speak English. Victoria English was very, very also same. Probably the best speaker was Christian 6 years ago, but the other ones, or Alex also, he had always a very good level of English. But through these opportunities, we have been able to support the organizations financially, support the organizations professionally, because we both create organizations that fit our needs and also fit the needs of the organizations. And as we go, we have jumped into virtual programming. It's very challenging because some of our students don't have access, don't have minutes at the internet, don't have computer at homes. And this is the problems that Vico Institute is dealing with their students, Quilombo Ilia dealing with their students. So how can we bring connections? How can we bring education? How can we bring professionalization to our students? Basically, what we have done today is a sample of how much we can accomplish if we work with these organizations and develop talent. There is a lot of talent. And now what we're trying to do with these students, some of them are, as you heard, they are doing masters. Some of others are ready to go to do a master's and PhD. And we are advising some of them to go to the United States to do master's and PhD. This is our next move. In order to do that, we have created virtual groups to practice English with former students from Brazil Cultural and these organizations. And we have advanced students. Also, we have Mary Quilombo Ilia, beginner, who is a PhD student and needs English. So these are the kinds of things that we try to do. We call it exchange learning, because we try to put students together at the same level of knowledge. And this exchange is produced naturally, but also guided through different activities, and really impact not only my groups that come from the United States, but we impact very easily local organizations. Because when you bring 8 groups a year and you bring every single group to the same organizations, we guarantee the impact. 10 years ago, I heard so many universities coming to Brazil and promising so many things, and they didn't do anything. At that time, I said, well, we better start doing little by little, little by little, little by little. We helped Raquel de Sousa to go to the United States to get a visiting professor at Spelman. We now got another invitation to Sueli Conceição, who's a PhD, former beauty king of Ileaye, to go to teach in Spelman. She couldn't do it because of the pandemic. We support other schools coming to Brazil to do programs with us, and maybe they decide to go with Vico. we have supported. This has been the case of Pfizer. Came to Brazil, met BICO through us, and now is doing an exchange with BICO. We are very proud of that, because also the students that we are preparing are going to go back to BICO, and they're going to be role models, are going to help develop the programs at BICO, and also BICO as a university in the next 2 or 3 years. Okay, so we are contributing to the cause and bringing a new perspective into study abroad. This is more or less what I have to say. Probably I could speak more, but I would like to open up for your questions. I want to thank ISIS for this great opportunity. And thank you to all of you for participating.
Thank you very much. No, like this is wonderful. This has been really wonderful. And we have 6 minutes, and there has been many questions from students. So I'm going to let, like, Sophia was one that had her hand raised for almost the entire presentation. Sophia.
Which was unintentional.
Yes. Or so it seems.
Eu não sou melhor que ninguém no Zoom. Tipo, eu não vou me achar porque eu não sei usar Zoom.
Mas você tem uma pergunta ou algumas?
Tenho. Eu queria perguntar para alguém, qualquer pessoa, eu não sei com quem eu ia entrar em contato ou se eu precisar, mas eu tenho uma plataforma no Brasil nas redes sociais e eu acho que seria legal talvez ajudar e promover, colocar nos stories ou algo assim, colocar um link para doações. Eu acho que pode ser beneficial e eu amaria fazer isso.
Ótimo, muito bem.
Eu acho que uma das coisas também é estabelecer contato entre vocês. Então, eu vou mostrar mais uma vez, vai ter vários eventos que a gente está organizando quartas e sextas até abril, mas vocês podem usar o chat também para colocar o e-mail de vocês, para que vocês permaneçam em contato, né? E o Javier faz essa ponte também, né?
Inclusive, temos uma outra, um outro curso em que os estudantes estão realmente praticando conversação e muitos têm interesse em entrar em contato com alguns de vocês para praticar. Então, eu posso, por favor, se vocês me permitirem, mando para você realmente, ou para quem estiver interessado, o e-mail para vocês entrarem em contato com eles e assim continuarmos esse grande diálogo, não é? E troca.
Os que vocês estão praticando inglês, tem os grupos também que estão praticando português.
Correto.
Então, a gente pode juntar isso. E talvez se a gente desse a palavra para o Andrew, que está em Ohio, mas que teve no Steve Biko.
Certo.
Pronto. Eu não estive no Steve Biko, mas acabo achando as conexões que eu não sabia. Então, eu estudei em Salvador 2011, 2012 com o CIEE, na verdade era o grupo. E acabei de, na verdade, a Luíse, que era diretora, mandou um oi para o Javier, a Luíse da Silva, conhece você, ela lembra?
Luíse é uma grande amiga minha.
Ah, você conhece a Luíse também? Ela é minha melhor amiga.
Eu trabalhei no CIE também.
Ela é minha melhor amiga na Bahia. Então...
Eu vou falar que te conheci.
Então, eu falei com ela agora e ela me falou do nosso amigo Gleison, que foi do Steve Biko também.
Gleison é meu melhor amigo, tá vendo as conexões aí?
Então, as conexões surgem do nada. O mundo é o ovo, como dizem, né? A gente tem essas conexões fortíssimas.
Quando eu estou na Bahia, sempre fala com uma pessoa, não, meu tio, meu primo, todo mundo conectado, mas nesse seminário também está todo mundo assim, um conhece outro.
É tipo 1 grau de separação só. Então, eu adorei a fala de todo mundo aqui e eu só posso ressaltar que eu queria desenvolver isso, essas conexões para a gente poder manter essa conexão, que a gente sabe, hoje em dia é muito fácil da gente fazer uma coisa uma vez, mas eu acho que o Javier tocou certo nisso. O mais importante é a gente desenvolver algo mais estável para a gente ter essas conexões fortes. Então, eu agradeço todo mundo aqui e eu sei que alguns grupos mencionaram que está faltando doação por conta do Covid e tudo mais, então eu convido todos a passar os links, as coisas que a gente pode fazer com as nossas redes daqui, de tentar dar um apoio. e pensar no futuro em que a gente continua essa conexão, que eu gostaria de manter isso e não fazer isso uma coisa de uma vez só.
Ótimo. E você, Andrew, vai ser o nosso embaixador lá na outra turma, para ligar os grupos, não é?
Pronto.
Ótimo.
Na verdade,
qualquer pessoa precisando de alguma coisa, antes da a pandemia atrapalhou, né? Mas eu tento ir para Salvador todo ano. Então, como eu posso ajudar, eu estou disponível.
Andrew, muito obrigado. Obrigado a todos. Na verdade, tem muitas maneiras de ajudar. Eu sempre falo, vamos começar com um pequeno passo, vamos fazer algo conjuntamente e vamos a ir crescendo aos pouquinhos. Eu comecei outro dia, faz mês e meio, esses pairing of English, antigos estudantes nossos e os nossos estudantes agora. E já temos 32 estudantes fazendo intercâmbio. A obrigação deles é falar 40 minutos cada semana, mas tem estudantes que já falaram 4 horas em uma semana. Porque, claro, procuramos pessoas que sabemos que vão a... Ok? Ricardo mesmo, faz mês começou e está falando muito melhor. Então, minha sugestão é essa aí. Podemos ajudar com doações? Sim. As 4 organizações precisam de ajuda? Sem dúvida. Quilombo Ilha, Steve Biko talvez esteja em uma situação um pouquinho melhor, porque é mais conhecida, mas Quilombo Ilha precisa de muita ajuda também. Quilombo do Tereré precisa de ajuda e a Fundação Pierre Verger, o Centro Cultural Pierre Verger. Mas também nossos estudantes precisam de mentorship. É muito importante. Victoria, eu sei que Victoria ou Gleison mesmo iam se beneficiar muito de poder participar em mais atividades da Ohio State University, em inglês, porque eles estão estudando para inglês. Mas outros estudantes, por exemplo, Christian poderia se beneficiar também de entrar em algumas atividades em português, como ele está interessado em fazer um mestrado ou doutorado no futuro, entende? Então, vamos encontrar caminhos de colaboração, sem dúvida. Okay? Fico muito feliz com essa resposta entusiástica de vocês aqui no chat.
Ótimo.
Ok, a confusion here. Então, algumas coisas, né? Então, por um lado, doação é uma coisa que dá para ver pela Brasa também, pela publicação que tem no SPPO, isso pode ser bastante divulgado. Mas essa troca entre vocês que eu acho o fundamental. Então, através desses grupos que podem ser desenvolvidos, em termos de exchange, de alguns de vocês pensarem em virem fazer doutorado na Ohio State University, isso é uma coisa a ser pensada, e manter contato de imediato, assim, também deixa eu, mais uma vez, fazer o compartilhamento de tela desses próximos eventos. E também lembrar os nossos alunos, please remember that Marcelo de Salete is going to be at 2:20 to 3:40, so it's a different time, que é 3:20 a 4:40 no Brasil, né? A Bárbara Kopke, ela tem uma série de fotos na Bahia, então, alguns eventos vão ser traduzidos pela Raquel. Isso também é interessante para vocês verem como esse trabalho está sendo feito e como pode ser feito pelo Zoom, né? Ela vai traduzir o de Salete, a Bárbara Kopke, o Guilherme Aderaldo e o Hugo Canuto. Esse evento vai ser em inglês, alguns vão ser... esse evento vai ser mais em inglês, esse aqui vai ser bilíngue, que é sobre literatura infantil para afro-brasileiro e afro-americano, né? E essa iniciativa da Lúcia e minha dessa série é algo que vai ter continuidade, né, em outros projetos que a gente está bolando. Então, a gente vai continuar em contato com o Javier, mas eu acho importante vocês estabelecerem contato entre vocês mesmo, né?
De novo, muito obrigado. I will send you the information with the 5 organizations that we have and our emails as of the presenters today, okay? And for sure, if you come to Salvador, we'll be more than glad to help out. Okay, we always try to be very transparent, very respectful with the organizations we work with, and the idea of learning from our foreigner people and these people who come, help our local population to learn and give a lot of confidence. Yesterday we realized it's amazing for Black people. They come to Salvador and this is kind of a therapy for many Black people, a healing therapy. And for our Black students to meet other Black students is also a very epiphanic moment. Okay, so these encounters are extremely important for the community. Okay, and I believe study abroad has a lot of potential now with virtual activities. A lot of potential. I've been advocating for more virtual activities, less use of phone when you are studying abroad, and use the phone to learn and to be a very useful tool when you're abroad. And the possibilities are huge, because we can start study abroad before you come to the country, then while in the country, then after you leave, you can make connections for life. And as you could see, digital capitalism is here to stay. So we better develop good educational and service programs along with it.
Yeah, e com a situação, with the situation of the pandemic, with COVID, like most likely for Brazilian students, like not much can be done for next semester. Now it's going to be a while before we can get vaccines over here in Brazil. So also to think of virtual projects, projects that we can develop through this platform.
Actualmente, por ejemplo, currently the organizations don't really have English classes, for example, or students cannot, Quilombo Ilia, students cannot register in the vestibular because they have no money for memory. Okay, it's just very basic access to technology that sometimes impede students to develop their talent. Okay. But thank you so much. It's been an honor, and thank you again, Victoria, Kayanara, Ricardo, Reitel, Anatel, Reitel, Alex. Okay. As always, you are very amazing. Okay, go ahead, say something if you want to say, please.
Thanks so much, everyone. It was a pleasure talking to you all. I hope we have more opportunities to share our experience in ourselves and our work. And I hope I can participate on Friday. I think so, it's on Friday.
Especially for you to see what you can
Yeah, I love to see Raquel translate.
Oh yeah, she has been great. It's funny because I remember that I had seen her and I told her, say, Raquel, I know you. She said, really? Where? I said, from Steve Biko. And, she has been fantastic for us and even for the students. Yeah.
It was another Baiana who teaches in the US, Patricia Pinho, who gave me the contact of Raquel Luciana.
Excellent. Yeah.
Bye. Thank you very much for participating. I love all the presentations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. It's a pleasure to me be present with you today.
Thank you very much, Ricardo.
Thank you, everybody. For sure, we will be willing to share more things with you. Moments like this is the really goal we have now. And thank you again.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, guys, for the opportunity. for the meeting. I really loved it. I hope I can join on Friday to see also Raquel, because Raquel was my teacher in 2009, my English teacher, when I was doing.
You're already a pro there. So
yes, intermediate to advanced English in Bico. So she met us and she loved how we learn English so fast. So she was fascinated, and I love Raquel. You know, the way she translated.
She's amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah. Yes. It's perfect. I love listening to her, seeing her translating. I've worked with her a few times, and also great experience. Thank you, guys. Javier has all my contacts. If anybody wants to talk in private, do a private session to get to know a little bit about Bico, the history, also the project we developed in Salvador, feel free to contact me.
Thank you.
Reitel?
Oh, olá, thank you very much. Muito obrigado aí a todos e a todas. Acho que o momento é esse, né? De a gente estar conectado, de a gente poder estar sempre pensando em ajudar o outro e pensando em construir juntos e pensar na pluralidade, não na singularidade. Então é isso que a gente constrói um mundo melhor quando a gente cuida do outro e proporciona, né, a oportunidade tanto para as crianças quanto para os adultos e para as famílias, porque a gente precisa também deixar nosso legado aqui na Terra, e a melhor forma é a gente já em vida, já poder contribuir com o outro, para poder as coisas andarem e ficarem na memória e no coração de todos. Mas fico feliz, obrigado, e estamos juntos para fazer valer.
Obrigada, Reitor, pelo chorinho de capoeira, que para alguns alunos foi a primeira vez que eles assistiram capoeira. Então, você vai ficar na memória de muita gente para o resto da vida deles.
É.
A Kayanara falou de miss you, de sentir saudade, é que está todo mundo sentindo saudade de todo mundo. Então...
Pois é,
Pois é. Foi para uma pessoa só. Foi para a Júlia, ela mandou para mim.
Só a ideia de poder viajar para a Bahia, assim, imagina.
Bom, muito obrigado, viu?
Muito obrigada a vocês.
A todos os participantes. Apresentações lindas.
Estamos à disposição, viu? Precisando de ideias, atividades. Estamos aí. Muito obrigado por abrir as portas.
Muito obrigada por nos visitar. Precioso, como diz o Reitor. Precioso.